As we all know, libraries come in all shapes and sizes, each planned for its particular role and for its users. I'm Bob Rolfe, and I regret that I'm not able to be at your August 11th interview because of a long-term commitment I've had, and that prevents me from discussing with you my concerns on library planning. I've been a library planning consultant now for over 30 years, and I've worked on hundreds of projects. They're very varied, from small-town public libraries to large city libraries such as Vancouver or Phoenix, Cleveland or Los Angeles, right in your own city. Large academic libraries like the University of Minnesota or St. Thomas University, and special libraries such as the Science Library in the Museum of Science and Industry in Paris, France, or the Library of Congress Madison Building, which is the largest library in the world. As I said, I regret not being able to be here for your August 11th interview. And I can't be there, so I thought I'd send this tape and give you the opportunity to see me and to share some of my thoughts and concerns on library planning, and in particular on what you have in front of you in planning the new Library and Resources Center for the Mission College. This is a very informal tape I've made, and it's being made in the control room and in the studio of one of the libraries in the Hennepin County Library System. And in this very studio we make produce, I should say really, 2 television shows on a weekly basis. What are some of the issues I'd like to discuss with you? Well, a building is a product of many people's ideas, regardless of the restraints on a project in terms of budget or site, outside planning interference, or anything else. If there's a good planning team, a team that works together, the result will be a good building. The planning team has to learn to function very smoothly. Members have to learn to disagree with each other without being disagreeable, and to disagree when they do in a positive, not a negative way. Participants must learn to question everything that is proposed in the planning process, to probe, and when putting forth ideas or documents of any kind, be able to substantiate opinions, beliefs, or even facts. The very best building result comes out of an honest, open give and take planning process, and not always by accepting the very first idea or concept that is proposed, or the first solution, or even the first answer. Every single member of the planning team has specific skills which they bring with them, which nobody else has, at least at one level or another. Everybody has a specific job and a specific responsibility, and each participant must recognize that in the others. The biggest potential problem in planning, in my experience, is ineffective communication. Communication in the planning process can be very confusing. As an example, when people sit down at a planning table on a library project and start to talk about circulation, the librarian and library staff are generally speaking about circulation of materials out of the building or within the building. By materials, I mean books, periodicals, tapes, records, discs, and all the holdings of the library. The architect is nodding very knowledgeably about the word circulation and is talking about circulation, but the architect is referring to getting people in and out of the building and getting people around within that building. And at the same time, the engineers are nodding their head and talking about circulation, and they are talking about moving air and water through the various systems in that building. As you see, all the participants are using the same word, circulation. They're meaning very different things. This is an obvious example, but there are certainly less obvious communication issues that occur throughout the whole planning process. The various members of the planning team, the library staff, the faculty, and the students, and I certainly hope in your project that they will be represented. The architect, the engineer, the consultant, all play various roles in planning, and each has to respect and understand the role of the other. The function and operating role of the library shall be represented or should be represented by the library staff. And the user must be recognized, and I hope in this case the faculty or students would also be involved in the process. And the design or appearance and the system efficiency, the mechanical systems, the electrical systems, are the responsibility of the architect and the engineers. Each team member must be responsible for firmly and creatively adding to the process to create a building which operates efficiently and is easy to use and is architecturally exciting and pleasing at the same time. Basic issues that have to be confronted will be how to divide areas of the Learning Resource Center to provide a combination of efficient and cost-effective use of staff combined with a user-friendly service point. In other words, how do you provide the best service without giving students or faculty the runaround? Far too many libraries today fail in that particular planning issue. Another major planning issue will be how to plan for both growing yet changing collection resources. We must plan for the latest in information access by CD-ROMs, by database files, by computers, by on-campus and off-campus networks. Questions here include what can we predict for data card use, the so-called PowerBook, and class resources in all kinds of non-print formats. Another planning issue will be how to address and best provide for the very large number of equipment needed for collection content and collection control using such things as micro readers, personal computers, CD-ROM readers, printers, and catalog terminals. There must be imaginative and thoughtful consideration of both location, design, and access to resolve these various issues, and the opportunities to create a truly combined print and electronic facility. Your project contains the normally found planning issues, many of which I've just discussed, but it also has many issues unique to Mission College. You are planning a permanent facility using a state-of-the-art information transfer process with the printed page, computer data, videotape, compact disc, and linkages to other resources. For a year you've been in temporary quarters, and you'll be in temporary quarters for some time yet to come. But the opportunity before us is to plan a brand new state-of-the-art facility. To accomplish your objectives, planning will have to stretch itself into the next century and not simply repeat library, media centers, or learning centers as we now see them, but to project them into the next century. Equal computer access to all students, regardless of their personal resources, is still another and very appropriate goal for the mission of this project. In addition to personal group study and quiet use spaces, your plan must also integrate space needs for lively and interactive programs such as radio, television, drama areas. My experience with the Public Science Industry Learning Audiovisual Library in Paris uniquely equips me to help you assist in the development of your plans in this area. And as I mentioned before, the very feature of our filming this tape for you in our own studio has given me an insight into some of the problems of buildings and AV facilities. Building planning is a very complex process. Everyone contributes at their own level with their own expertise. Everyone has to respect the others and learn from the others. And with a good teamwork, the process can be extraordinarily productive. I hope you select this team for your project. I know Brian Doherty and his colleagues will work very hard to give you an absolutely outstanding facility. If we are selected, the same kind of client commitment which keeps me from your interview will be made to you for your project, and once your project starts, I will be there. But whoever you select, I hope this brief presentation has been of some value to you, and I wish you great success in planning a truly wonderful Learning Resources Center for Mission College.